What's up, everybody? So I've been thinking about making this sandwich for a while, and one of my favorite things to do when I was a pro cook, and still is take like an Italian recipe or an Asian recipe or a Mexican recipe and try to incorporate it into some form of like yummy sandwich. So today I'm making a pork loin scallopini style cutlet with creamy mushroom sauce, and instead of putting it on pasta, I'm making it in the form of a sandwich. First thing you're gonna wanna do, take your pork loin chop, and you're going to want to pound it out into a scallopini style cutlet using the perforated side of your hammer. Once you're done, you got it the right thickness, then you're going to want to season it well on both sides with salt and pepper. And I put a plate of flour off to the side because you're going to want to flour it. We're not doing an egg dredge, we're just doing seasoning and flour. Then you're going to want to get the temperature of your pan up to a medium, and throw some olive oil and some butter in there, and then you're going to want to get a good sear on those cutlets up until you get a good caramelization on the meat and the butter and the flour are starting to get a golden brown. Then you're going to want to take those cutlets out and let them rest. Then you're going to want to throw in some onions, scallions, and garlic with another couple pieces of butter. And you're going to want to get the moisture from those vegetables to deglaze that fond that you're starting to build up on the bottom of the pan. Once you've done that and the onions and garlic and stuff are sweated, now I'm going to throw in my mushrooms. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to want to stir that around, or use a little pan flip technique until I cook out most of the moisture from the mushrooms, and then it's starting to make a sauce. Now I'm going to further deglaze with some white wine. Yes, I'm using cartoned white wine. I didn't want to buy a whole bottle and have it sit on the counter for 3 months until I needed it to cook again. This way I can just throw it in the fridge. It's good to go for cooking the next time. Now, once I've cooked out the alcohol of the wine, now I'm going to add my cream or my half and half. Now, I usually add about 3 to 4 times more cream than wine. This is going to be the base to my sauce. Once I bring that up to a boil, I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit, and then I'm going to add in some floured butter and then stir consistently. And then right before the butter is almost fully melted, I'm going to start adding my Parmesan cheese and then let it sit on a very, very low heat. And then once that's done, you can add a little bit more parm, a little bit more butter, a little bit more olive oil, and then you're going to want to stir it consistently as you take it off the heat. And then after about 4 or 5 minutes, when it's been reduced a little bit and the cheese and the butter has fully incorporated into your creamy sauce, you now have the perfect consistency for your creamy mushroom sauce. It's almost the same sauce I would make for like chicken marsala, except I'm using white wine instead of marsala wine. But it has a perfect sheen, perfect consistency, perfect viscosity. It's great. So now I'm going to work on my bread. I like to use the Seattle round sourdough loaf. You get these huge slices, and you're going to want to toast that with butter, flip it occasionally, and keep adding butter as you flip. On your last rotation, when it's nice and golden brown and crispy, I like to add a little bit more butter and some of this Johnny's garlic spread that's made for like garlic bread and stuff. This stuff is amazing for any kind of bread you're going to use for Italian. Now I'm going to add some slices of mozzarella cheese on the piece of bread that's going to be my bottom part. I'm going to put that on a cutting board. I'm going to cut my cutlet on a bias and then spread it out evenly on top of that cheese to make sure I get a bite of meat in every single part of that sandwich. So once I've done that successfully, now it's time to go get my sauce. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit, get it warm again, and then I'm going to start adding it with a little ladled spoon, just enough to cover the cutlet and add really good flavor and depth to the sandwich. Once I have the cutlet completely covered and it's not just oozing out everywhere, I'm going to garnish it with a little bit of spring onions or green onions, whatever you want to call them. I love adding spring onions and green onions to most Italian dishes. It's a great accompaniment. Now I'm going to put on 2 more slices of mozzarella cheese while everything's still a little bit warm, and that's going to kind of help encapsulate and kind of keep all the ingredients together so your sandwich doesn't fall apart. Add your second top part of your bread, cut it on a bias, put it on a plate, and look at that. This sandwich, not only do I love veal scallopini and pork scallopini on pasta, but the sandwich was fucking amazing. The sauce was perfect, it was delicious, and you're fucking welcome. Go make it yourself.